Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Feet blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. Feet blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Feet blood on the rise, it's following me. Get about the break of day. She came and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. She flooded the streets on the river of sadness. She flooded the streets up to my thighs. Yeah, the river ran down the ledge of the city. No women are crying and rivers are weeping. She came in town and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. Indians scattered on dawn's highway bleeding. Ghosts crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind. Blood in the streets in the town of New Haven. Blood stains the roofs and the palm trees of Venice. Blood in my love in the terrible summer. Bloody red sun of fantastic LA. Black screens of rain and tap off the fingers. Blood will be born in the book of a nation. Blood is the rose of mysterious union. Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. Blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Blood on the rise is following me.
Welcome everybody. This here already, nice and early. Plague, episode 6. Here in the UK, miserable day, but life is good, to be honest. We've had some big things going on in and around the pond this week. I'm glad Jan has come up actually, because I was hoping to touch on a couple of posts that he's made related to the Hakeshi Mint. If anyone else wants to come up and join me up on stage. Obviously, I want to focus on the future of what's going to happen with the BTC Ordinals project that is Hakeshi, and try not to focus on any potential negatives, although I haven't seen any people complaining about numbers minted or anything like that. To me, I think the smaller the collection, the more personal it is anyway. The artwork that I've seen is pretty incredible, and it's nice to see one or two of them down there in the crowd already. I was super happy with the one that I minted, and I will post it down in the comments. If everyone wants to give this room a retweet this here already, it does help the algorithm. I will actually look to put a few things as well. I did also pin, or I will get it pinned, the awardable badge that I've created for this space. So without further ado, Jana, how are you doing this week, my friend?
Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, excited to finally mint Hakeshi, and enjoyed sort of like looking into what it might all be about. I think hopefully we'll find out tonight once the mint closes. I think Pons is doing a few announcements, and then a holders AMA in the Discord. So yeah, hopefully find out all the things that are going to come from Hakeshi. But it's been nice to get back into sort of minting something, because I haven't done that for ages. So nice to take some
it was a very
yeah.
For me, it was a really smooth process. I did wonder, I've never minted an ordinal, so when it said that it was in the mempool, I was like, everyone was like, yeah, the mempool's cool, man. The mempool's chilling. Like, don't worry. Like, you'll get your ordinal like when the next block is ready or something. I was a bit like, that's a bit odd, but seemed to work. The instant reveal was pretty cool. Like when they started churning through, like I saw a lot of things on my timeline. I don't think we could have done much better as a community. What was interesting for me was that, you know, there was a lot of frogs involved with this. I did see largely, you know, I don't want to say largely frogs on my timeline because I've managed to follow some new people. I've been looking around for people that have minted Haikeshi from other communities. I think it will bring exposure to the frogs. You know, mid-term, well, short, mid, and long term. To be honest, I think that the cross over into ordinals will do us the world of good moving forward. I think it's something that I wanted to get involved in. I can't say that I will stay, you know, over on ordinals because a lot of the stuff over there doesn't really interest me at all. I just think it's been very interesting to have such a, you know, prolific artists make some pieces that we've been able to be involved in. That's for me like why I put my money over that side, because I wanted to support Ponds and I wanted to support the community that we've built, and you know, have it expand over that side as well. So you know, your speculations in terms of your posts, you know, you read into some terms and conditions. I've also had a little conversation myself with a few people about this, and it seems, you know, we can speculate in this space because I think it's fun to do so. So my thoughts are that perhaps people that minted will get like a limited edition colorway of the Plague Haikeshi hoodie or t-shirt or something along those lines, like get a free claim to that. I think that would be quite cool. What are your thoughts, Jana? Like, I know you dug into it a little bit
Yeah,
deeper.
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely going to be some kind of apparel drop, isn't it? I think some kind of clothing drop. I don't know whether it's going to be like a free claim or a discounted version, or maybe like an exclusive version for holders. But yeah, there was a lot in there about obviously the physical. What did it say? Something about the ability the right to claim physical goods. So that obviously
Yeah, I'm
suggests,
gonna
and
get
then
your post pinned up the top actually,
I'll.
because it was, yeah, it was
Yeah, and then there
interesting.
was a couple of other things, wasn't there, about sort of there's the license, two sort of like scope licenses, which suggests that we're going to be able to use our IP or our NFTs for something. Not really sure what that is, but you could speculate sort of with it being a manga brand, whether that's going to be in, I don't know, whether maybe use that in, maybe it would get used in some of the anime or manga series, or there'd be opportunity to use our IP in sort of the comics and things that are produced. That'd be pretty cool though, wouldn't it, if it was something like that?
For sure. I think I'm certainly interested to know which direction it goes in, but for me it would make sense to make some sort of comic, like perhaps have, you know, well, I mean, some of the characters that are in the collection I believe may already be used like on some of their clothing that they have already. So if anyone you know, has any more ideas, I'm just gonna pin mine up the top because I was super happy with this one, man. Yeah, like when I got the rain background overlay, like and the oranges, and orange is actually probably my favorite color, to be honest. So it was nice to see this when it revealed, you know. Um,
I've not
got a
really
little
seen
bit
any
of a,
that I don't like, to be honest. They're all so good, aren't they? Like the art.
yeah, somebody said to me, like, I like the way that they look kind of sketched as well. Like the artwork and the lines are not super clean. Like it looks like they've been almost like brushed in some way or another, you know. So however it's been done, to me looks professional, and like it's actually come from an artist instead of being generated. That's for me how it looks anyway. You know, we did see some the artist himself, who I should really credit actually and get pinned up the top. I can't remember his name, but he, I should have had that ready, to be honest. But we have seen some of his pen work and line work, and it'd be interesting to see if he does pop up, and if he even has a handle of his own on X or anything, if he decides to do anything with it. But at the moment, I'm super interested to see the direction that it goes. And we did speculate comics, perhaps some kind of short movies or cartoons or something would be super cool as well. And if they were going to use characters, if you think about it, the collection has now been downsized to around 1500. So I would say if you made a series, you're going to at least see a good selection of those. So if there are, ownership royalties or anything like that coming from manga shorts or, a manga movie or anything like that, it would be super cool. And, to be able to mint as many as they have done, I know that some of them were obviously come from Acorn holders, so we have to discount that as well. But it's still a pretty big amount that's been minted at the price that it was. Um,
Yeah, I think it
I
was quite
think
ambitious, wasn't it, in terms of like the value. All the Plague previous mints have been $100, haven't they? So this was obviously 4 times as much as that, and
yeah,
yeah, so it's still a good, good
I
achievement,
don't
I'd say.
think people. For me, I don't think a lot of people knew really what was happening. I mean, there's a few. I don't want to say negatives because they're not negatives, but there's a few key points for me. Obviously, Bitcoin is absolutely mooned at the moment, and so is Ethereum. So if anyone's holding any coins, like, you're laughing at the moment. But NFT assets themselves are pretty stable. We've seen a little bit of a dip here and there, but it's all relative because of the value of ETH. But I think the slight delay from Friday to Monday was a little bit, may have made people a little bit more cautious. The support that the project got from the frog community for me was immense. Like, I've never seen so many, and the fact that we're all still sitting with frog PFPs, or most of us in any case. Like, I was a bit concerned that we might lose a lot of PFPs to Hakeshi perhaps, or but it seems like everyone's kind of posting Hakeshi with frog PFPs, which is a great thing in itself. Obviously, sporting Hakeshi PFP for however long people choose to do so is also awesome. But I think it's nice for us to keep moving around the timeline in the manner that we have been, and supporting essentially a new style of artwork, because the next thing that's going to come to frogs is obviously the trait upgrade, which I don't think is far off, judging from Pons's weekly updates. His focus was obviously largely based around Hakeshi at the moment, and he did make a bit of an odd tweet, like the post on X, I should call it these days. But he did make a bit of an odd one of a pie, and it said humble pie. So I don't know if he was expecting to fully sell out 3,500 of the Hakeshi mints, but whether he did or he didn't, I still think it's it's a really good way for him to kind of move into other chains, I would say. It's not hard. I don't know how long it took the Plague to initially mint out. Does anyone have that information? Actually, that would be interesting
Yeah, I'm
for me
sure the
to
army
know.
took like a good day or so. I feel like I don't think it was like an instant mint out for the army mint, at least.
No,
I can't remember,
I
to be
mean,
honest.
yeah, I'm gonna try and invite a couple of people up actually, who's down there. I did invite Scott up at the beginning. If he wants to come and speak, he's more than welcome to do so. A couple of other people that have been and spoke previously. Let's see if Nido wants to speak. Let's see if Arta wants to speak. Anyone that wants to come up and add to the conversation, Rock, you're more than welcome to come up as well. I did send you an invite at the beginning, but if you can't, I fully understand that. Yeah, so let's continue the conversation kind of and try and focus a little bit on, what we think, not necessarily what we think could come from this, because obviously Pons has mentioned that there will be some announcements coming, and I presume that to be able to get into the AMA, we're going to have to verify our assets. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is the secondary market for these, because maybe there'll be some people that decide to offload theirs a little bit cheaper, then decide to mint another, if that's how he does it and the mint does stay open. Or perhaps people will want to trade some or something that might be better. So let's hear a few words from Scott. He's come up to join us on stage. So Scott, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Very well, thank you. Were you able to mint a awesome manga piece on ordinals?
I was. I feel like my liquidity is kind of stretched in all different directions, but I was able to save up enough for one that I really like. So I was pleased with the mint. I was a little bit of a scare at first because I had registered my Magic Eden Bitcoin address, and then like a minute into the mint, I saw something on Discord like it's not supported. And I was like, oh, great. But I think you just had to. There was a way to export your Magic Eden Bitcoin address to Xverse, so I was able to do that and get that all squared away. So it was good.
Nice.
It was a good, positive experience. So
yeah, for me it was as well. I just pinned yours up the top. It's a pretty good looking one, to be honest, as well, with the apple. Very nice indeed. Some good colours coming out of this collection, I think. They're nice, and there's some great variations.
It definitely looks like a painting more than just a cartoon, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I did think that as well. That I mentioned earlier on that the line work is, not super. I mean, it's really fine, but it's not like blocked, if you know what I mean. Like, there's gaps in it in certain places, and it looks like it's been sketched rather than generated. But obviously it is generative art, and I mean, Pons Under Pressure seems to have done a pretty good job of going through and picking out the ones that he wanted. He did mention that he was going to generate a ridiculous amount and then pick out 3,500 of the ones that he thought were the best. So it'd be interesting to know if they actually mint the remaining ones that don't sell initially, and what they do with them. Because I did sniff around the Discord a little bit and see some people's suggestions and things. Have you spent much time in the Discord, Scott or Jana?
I've been in there. I've been in there a little bit, yeah. And the impression I got was that Pons is going to cut the supply at whatever time you said, whatever the mint number is, or if it gets to 1,500, then it will cut then. So I don't know if there will be any sort of remaining, but yeah, Discord's good. It's like obviously there's the frog crowd there, but there's like a slightly different crowd as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, I thought so as well. There's a couple of Japanese names in there, which is good to see. So hopefully it's doing its job, and getting some people from the Asian community and the Bitcoin community. I mean, even if we only pick up a couple of people into the community that end up grabbing a frog further down the line, that for me is a positive for sure. I'm interested to like I said, see where it goes, and see. For me, the neon colors are something that are pretty cool, but also I like the pastels as well. So I need a drink of water, actually. I'm struggling a bit today. Let me grab a bit of water. Dig me out of a hole, Jana, for a second.
Yeah, good. I'm really looking forward to the Anime Foundation, sort of what comes from that. I'm hoping it's going to be one of the things that Pons announces today. But yeah, it sounds like they're producing like a whole ecosystem of the manga token. And obviously Hikeshi's going to be benefiting from that, we can assume, from being in there. But yeah, I've noticed there's, since the Hikeshi announcement for partnering with them has come up, they've announced probably 5 or 6 other projects, and there's a few in there with like 100k followers and stuff, some anime projects. So I think that's going to be like a whole platform of sort of manga projects, and whether there be any sort of cross collaboration with those projects that are part of the Anime Foundation. Be interesting to see that. But yeah, it was interesting digging into that post around that partnership as well, because it seems like there's going to be opportunity to make like profiles potentially, or ability to utilize the IP from each of those projects. But yeah, there's obviously nothing's been confirmed yet, but it sounds like that's kind of where that's going. And then the manga token is going to be part of that as well, which sounds like more like a ecosystem token rather than just, you know, another meme coin. So it'd be good to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they've actually been able to, you know, quite clever actually, to call the token manga as well, just straight up. It's got a really good name, you know.
Yeah,
And
I'm obviously not an anime. It's like before Hakeshi wasn't really into it too much, but I only realized that manga is like the drawn kind of comics version of that style, and anime is like the animated one. Saying that out loud, maybe that's why it's called anime. I don't know, but yeah, but like I thought they were two completely different sort of cartoon styles, but it's just the fact that one's like a comic written version and the other's like an animated version. But yeah, maybe that was obvious to everyone, but I didn't know that before recently.
so you're saying anime is the animated version and manga is the kind of comic version?
Yeah,
Is that
basically that's my understanding. I don't, but yeah, that's from what I saw.
If that's your understanding, I'm going to partly believe it, Jana. But to me, they could be different styles in general. I don't know, but obviously both coming out of Japanese artwork and, you know, Japanese artists. So if anyone knows any more about that, by all means, please do request to pop up as well. I'd be interested to know other people's thoughts on, you know, the mint process, if they were happy with the art that they received and minted. I think a lot of people were speculative, perhaps at times, thinking, you know, they might mint something that they don't like. Like we all remember those days, you know, back in 2021, like late 2021, 2022, when, you know, you were minting something and, you know, you wanted to try and get a rare one. Like these all to me look like one of one pieces. Obviously there are, you know, different traits that have been more frequently used in the collection than others, but to me, I haven't seen ones that look super alike. I don't know if it's because I haven't looked through the whole collection so far, or like, but what I've seen on the timeline, they're all pretty individual. So I'd certainly be happy with, you know, most of the ones that I've seen. There was a lot of talk of people saying that the female ones look a lot better. For me, if I was to say one trait that I don't really like as much as any others, I think it would be the bald guy. I think that one looks, you know, it's not 100% my favorite. And, you know, there's probably a couple of other traits that I'm not 100% set on. And if there were standout traits, without mentioning any that my own one obtained through Mint, I would have to say that the wave background is something super cool. There's also some really great clothing items like shirts and, you know, some of the dragon style patterns and bold colors. Like I think they're looking super dope. Like, have you seen any traits that you wish you may have picked up, Scott, from the collection?
There was a Bane mask or something. It looked like it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did see
Just
that one.
just
Like a kind of like a mask with some tusks at the side of it, doesn't it?
yeah,
It's
kind of like
pretty cool.
the plague trait. Also, just the backgrounds on a lot of them. Mine is just sort of one color, but other people have some really cool backgrounds on theirs, which is
Yeah,
nice.
speaking of,
Yeah, have you seen the moon one? Look, that's probably my favorite trait, and that's one of the backgrounds, and then the comic strip backgrounds are pretty cool as well, aren't they?
yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot going on those, so it takes a little bit away from the character, in my opinion. But I know the deep colors of the moon background that you're talking about. There's some really good like kind of deep blues and stuff in there. Speaking of Bane masks, I was able to pick one up last week on the low, so I'm going to pin that up the top as well. Because, yeah, there's been some great deals out there. And also, this has reminded me as well, I need to get Nels's recent tweet posted up the top about best buys, because we have seen a little bit of a dip on the collection relative to ETH, pumping a little bit. I think there's a couple of great deals out there, especially below the kind of 0.24, 0.25 range, I would say, in terms of clean, aesthetically looking frogs. So if anyone's kind of sniffing around and thinking they might want to grab one, if we are attracting any new potential holders, then I'll get something pinned up the top that a good friend of mine for many years has been making. He's recently started doing them again, actually. So if you want to give it some love when I get it pinned up the top, I'm sure he would appreciate that as well. I don't know if we've got him in here today. He is there, actually. Over in Australia. So he's a good Quirkies holder and somebody that's managed to trade his way into the plague, actually via Pons, ironically, which I think was great. Something that I don't think he'll mind me saying. So yeah, there's been some great people coming from other ways, and now he's sporting a plague PFP, which he has been doing so for the last, I think, 3-4 months at least. So yeah, let me get his post pinned up the top. Is there anything else in the space, Jana, that you've noticed going on this week apart from coins absolutely ripping?
Yeah, I was going to mention that, like the whole ETF thing. It'd be good to get our weekly guy up. Oh my god, mine's gone
Drummer.
blind. Yeah, drummer, to see what his thoughts. But obviously the ETF, it sounds like
Drummer's having a little bit of a tough time at the moment. I think, like, he has been posting on his timeline. I think his wife hasn't been very well or something. Like, I won't talk too much about personal things, but I think
I do
he's
remember
openly,
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's openly posted about it. So I don't think we're going to hear from him today. But I don't even think he did a market update yesterday either. I think, well, I will stand corrected if he did, but I don't think I've seen too much from him. I will check his feed in a minute and see if there's any charts or anything that we can post. But I guess it's an awkward time for coins to be absolutely ripping and him having a bit of an issue at home. So obviously,
Yeah, but it
send a
seems,
bit of love
yeah.
his way.
So yeah, hopefully everything's all right with him. But yeah, it seems like the ETF took a complete for ETH took a complete sort of 180, and it was like unlikely to be passed, and then suddenly there's like loads of news that it's likely to be passed, and there's like speeding up some of the process to get it started. So that's kind of made Ethereum go mad, and then I don't know if everything's just following that, but it'd be interesting to see if it just keeps going. I've seen people sort of talking about 5k ETH again and things like that. But I think what we saw with the Bitcoin one, when that was passed, nothing really happened with Bitcoin, and then Ethereum kind of ripped sort of 5-10% as a result of the Bitcoin ETF news. So I wonder whether, if the ETF is passed for Ethereum, whether we're going to see some of the Solana and those type of ones go up on the speculation that they might be next for the ETFs. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, and then also how that affects the plague sort of floor price. If Ethereum does continue to go up to sort of 4k or 5k, whether we're sort of stick around the 1.2 or whether that might go lower, and then opportunity for more people to come in. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
I mean, what are the staked numbers looking like at the moment? Because for me, like the amount of frogs that are staked is the super bullish thing about the collection in itself. For me personally, because it means that there are not so many that are openly tradable. But I would imagine maybe a few have been unstaked, but the number seems to remain super high. Like it's around 85 to 90% of the whole collection, which I think is awesome. I did pin one of Drummer's recent tweets that he posted 19 hours ago. So I presume that was as things were climbing. So it says BTC back at the range highs, big level here, has faced rejection 6 times at this level before, is the 7th time a charm. I will try and share my thoughts as time allows. So we haven't heard from him in the last 19 hours, but things seem to have been climbing even more so. So I will keep an eye out on anything that he does post, and perhaps give it a retweet, because I think it's he deserves a bit of support with what he does. For coin, commentary. I'm going to say, like, and the love that he gives, charts for us frogs. Like, I don't understand 100% what he's saying half the time, and I know that it's relative to real life news and tragic events and all sorts of minuses and pluses that are going on around the world. I'm sure he studies it a lot more than I do, but I do know that I have been holding a little bit of ETH in a wallet, and I probably, just through ETH climbing, I've made $700-800. So it's been nice to have a little bit sitting in there and watch it climb, because I'm not normally like that. If I've ever had ETH, I've spent it on JPEGs.
I'm
So
exactly the same. I actually started last 3 months. I started just like dollar cost averaging, only like 50. I do sort of 50 quid Ethereum, 50 quid Bitcoin, and then 50 quid Solana. So like not a lot of money each month, but I was really lucky to get it. I get paid on the 20th. So when did was it yesterday or the day before Ethereum shot up? And I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll just wait until Ethereum goes down a little bit. And I ended up sort of buying anyway as my sort of usual routine. And then that day it went up sort of 10%. I was just like, oh, get in, lucky I did go in and sort of just continue with what I was doing month on month. So it's nice to see it go up. I'm just looking at the staked frogs, and it's 9,299. So we're still sort of well above 9,000.
yeah. So we've got a couple of comments relating to what you said about manga and anime. So thanks to Spartacus for putting those comments down there. So he specifically has said Akira manga are comics or graphics novels originating from Japan. So the Akira artwork is something that I've known about for many, many years, actually. Iconic, I think 90s era, I'm going to say, but the characters from that manga are absolutely insane. Like, so I don't know if this was some of the earliest manga, probably not. I probably sound ridiculous saying that, but certainly one of the OG movies that came from manga. So if you haven't checked out Akira, it's absolutely awesome. Like, he's posted a GIF down there as well, and he's then said anime is a hand drawn and computer generated animation originating from Japan. So I think you are right in some ways, Jana.
I wonder whether anime mean if that like translates to animation. When I said it out loud a second ago, I was just like, anime means animation. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably a giver, but maybe that's just coincidence.
Could be. Well, I mean, we never know. One person we don't have actually in here, I'd like.
I think you're on mute, mate, if you're still speaking. Not sure if you're still there. Am I rugging? I might be rugging. I'll be quiet.
No, I can't hear
You
me.
might be right.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Sorry. It says looks like connection was lost reconnecting, so I apologize about that. But yeah, it seems I lost my internet connection for a second. I was just mentioning my good friend Cutty, because I know that he was able to mint, and then I was going to say a lot of I don't think I know many frogs that didn't mint, to be honest. I think that we have definitely pulled up in force. You mentioned the number of staked frogs being around 9,300 still, Jana. Is that correct?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good number, and I don't think it would take much. I think the trait swap could give us a little bit of an upward climb. I do think that. I mean, what are other things in the past that have caused frogs to take a bit of a climb upwards? for me, can you think of any milestones like throughout the collections? You know, time that's been available. Can you think of any milestones? Oh, speaking of cutty,
Yeah, I can remember in sort of when was it? Was it October 22 when that like for October was happening? There was a big spike then, and I think that was like an anticipation for what was coming at the end of October, which I can't remember what it was, but there was a lot of talk there. So that kind of went up to about 0.8, and then again, is it sort of 3 or 4 months ago? It sort of peaked. It had sort of kind of like a spike up. So they're like the 2 times that I remember mainly, and I think they mainly just obviously the Frogtober was happening, but it just kind of happened out of nowhere, and it just suddenly snowballs, and then suddenly we're going up from like 0.4 to 0.8 suddenly, and it gradually comes down. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen again when we see all the news that's coming out in the next few days from what Pons is planning. But yeah, I can't remember sort of the key things. It's just been sort of a month period, so a couple of times.
I think the 6 monthly vesting of ownership of the plague for holders during snapshots is coming soon as well.
Yeah, I think that's
But that's obviously only going to benefit existing holders that have made it through particular snapshots. So I don't know if that would cause any kind of spike in I don't want to say value, because to me the floor doesn't really matter as such, but we're sitting at around 7-8 times what mint price was 2 years after mint, and we've got one of the strongest communities in the space. So I don't think it's to be frowned upon at all. I do think that there are areas that we could have focused a little bit more on to potentially give the brand a little bit more value, but I think all of those things are going to come to fruition very soon. So perhaps a little bit overdue in some areas. I don't think Pons would mind me saying that, but when they do happen, I just hope that they're done right, so that people can be proud of the things that have come out of the plague, instead of them dwindling and becoming nothing. I've certainly have got some ideas and things that I would like to put forward if I ever get the chance to do so, and that's pretty much why I like holding these spaces, really, just so that if Pons ever does listen back to them, they're kind of like a community conversation that have pros and cons to things that are going on within the community. That's the way that I like to host these spaces, really. So without let's go over to Cutty, actually, the firefighter of the masses. What's going on your side?
What's up, buddy? I just figure I'll balance out the speakers with a little bit of American accent. I'm kidding, but no, I'm doing good, man. Just at work, I'm sitting in the engine right now. Actually, a gate broke when we were trying to go through it, so I'm just hanging out. And I checked in on Twitter and was like, "Oh shit!" And I jumped up, and I think I heard the tail end of my name and saw the little request, so I figured I'd come say hi and
Yeah, your ears must have been burning in the truck, because I literally about 2 minutes before you showed up in the room, I just said, "Oh, I wonder how Cutty's getting on," because I know that he was able to mint Hakeshi, so it'd be good to hear his thoughts. So I'll actually get yours pinned up the top as well. What are your thoughts on the artwork for Hakeshi, firstly, and how do you think it's all gone?
I mean, I love it. It's the type of artwork for like the anime like genre for NFTs that I've always wanted. Like, it's that kind of hand drawn look. I really, really, really like it. I like the ones that I minted. They're not like super rare, I don't think, or over the top, but they're really clean. The colors kind of match with both of them, which is cool. And yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, cut supply. Some people FUD. Oh, people got free mints and stuff, but free. I'm doing air quotes because it wasn't really free. It was something that Pons took care of a community that was rugged essentially years ago, a year and a half, or 18 or 20 months ago, or something like that. And I think it's amazing. That just shows what he's doing, and what he's doing is correct, and he's staying true to his word. So I look forward to it, and I mean, giving away one BTC is insane. Whoever gets that, like, That's I don't. I don't
I'm
like,
hoping.
what the heck?
I'm hoping it's me. I'm hoping it's me, Cutty. But I also don't want people to think it's an inside job. So
Yeah.
you know, we all know. We all know. We all know what happened. What I do hope is the person that wins it, if they are a holder of frogs, I hope that they, you know, shower a little bit of love and invest in the plague a little bit more.
Well,
So, obviously, if they choose to do so or they don't, they may just choose to, you know, up sticks and leave and leave a space. You know, I would certainly
I think
consider that if I won 60,
I think
70K.
it would be worth a few, at least a few ETH of FRG and a couple more frogs if I won. Um, you know, I think I would do a lot of
Yeah.
giveaways. A lot of giveaways. I'd probably buy some cool projects, and who knows, you know, some frogs or Hakeshi, and probably just give them away because that's just, I don't know, it's freaking cool. Like I feel like you'd have to share to
Imagine
win that, to win almost, you know, that's like what 65, 60. I don't even know what it is today. I haven't even had a chance to look, but 66, 68, 70K, 70,000, 35 ETH, or no, 20 something ETH. If you think of it in terms of ETH projects, like that's crazy. Um, but yeah,
we've had an absolute moon in coins. If you haven't been looking at charts today, like ETH is up about 25%.
oh,
Not not even joking. If you're holding any ETH, you're fully sorted. I expect you to be the sort of guy that is holding
I
ETH
have, a,
as
I have a
well.
little bit, not a ton. I put a lot into the Forge, um,
Yeah.
but you know that
So on the week, ETH is up 27.91%. I'm seeing on Binance.
so we
That's absolutely
are we close
ridiculous.
to 4K?
Mine's in pounds, so I apologize. But has anyone got the actual dollar run? Like my
Here,
Binance
I'll
is
look
in
right now.
sterling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
shocked you
in
use.
sterling, we've got.
Yeah, I use dollars. Everything I say is dollars. It's 3,700. It's saying
Wow, there you
on
go.
mine. Yeah, and Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin hit 70K and it's at 69. So a nice round degen figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One BTC would be insane. Hey, Treble, if I win, I'll give you 0.1. Okay.
You
Oh
will.
hell yeah! I'll give you
Badass.
0.1.
Well, I hope you win, just for that very reason. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing if it came from an Acorn mint,
Hell
wouldn't
yeah,
it?
dude.
As
Okay,
well,
fine.
it'd be
Point
so dope.
point 0.075 to you, 0.025 to Jenner.
Let's go.
There we go, man.
If I win, I'll return the favor. There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's what we should all do. You know, if a frog wins, we should all just buy everyone a
Yeah.
frog,
I'm
and
Yeah.
then you know we've got more frogs.
sure. I'll buy you a frog too. There. Um,
There we go.
but
Fucking awesome, man. What a kind and caring community we've got.
yeah.
And I know that you'd put me out if I was on fire. So you know that's another thing.
Well, I gotta come visit you. My cousin lives there, and I was talking to her about coming out there and spending some time. I don't know exactly where she is, but I think the me and my brother talked about going and having some fun, and I brought you up and was like, we got to go hang out with this guy I
Mate,
know.
if you are, yeah, if you're ever in London, then I mean Jana as well.
Yeah,
Like
no, of
we've
course.
got a good little, we've got a good couple of people over this way that would certainly entertain, you know, a few decent evenings in London if you're ever to come over for a week or whatever.
Oh,
Like definitely, I'd make a plan and you know give you at least a couple of decent nights out
yeah,
for sure.
no, it'd be
Um,
a blast. But yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
you know, appreciate you, buddy. This is amazing. Everything you've been doing. You know, it was the cross community stuff is something I'm, you know, huge on. The plague is something I'm huge on. Like, I mean, I remember whatever 2 years ago now doing the sappy pond spaces and stuff and talking to you all the time. But I have to run, so maybe my ears will ring again. But we're about to leave. The gate is fixed. And my captain's walking back to the engine, and I don't want to have to explain what the hell I'm doing on the phone. So I
No, of
will.
course, man. No worries. You're working,
Yeah.
man. You got shit to do. That's cool. Well, thanks for coming up. I appreciate your time. And you know, enjoy the rest of your shift. Peace out, man. So And if anyone else wants to come up and add to the conversation, like I said, you're more than welcome to do so. I see a pretty awesome looking gold seal there with a halo going on as well. Actually, it's a laurel. I used to have a laurel seal myself, so we can talk about seals a little bit as well if anyone wants to come up. Who else we got in here today with me? Berlin's down there. Who else? I'm trying to think. KJ, CBG, Pampos. Anyone wants to come up and add, more than welcome to do so. Like I said, Arta, I'll invite Arta up, Guillaume as well. See if these guys want to come up, add to the conversation. So it was nice to have Cutty in it for a little while. Gonna try and talk a little bit more about, plague centric stuff. I do know a couple of other things that are, kind of in the works, that are not necessarily speculative. Like, I think we're going to see some, products essentially coming out of the plague, possibly not through Haikeshi either. Like, I do hope that we get some kind of line of clothing or product in the coming months for sure. Like, it's something that I would love to be involved with, like if it ever does go down that route, just because of my interest in street culture and design, and I would love to be involved with any kind of marketing avenues or anything like that, and getting them into cool shops in and around the London area specifically. I do feel like Web3 should really have more of a space in. I just realised that's Platty with Haikeshi PFP as well. So we're going to have Platty come up and speak. Yeah, I do wish that, I'll finish what I was saying. I do wish that there was more of a Web3 presence in London. Something that I would love to be able to work towards and do, like with the likes of people like Wab and stuff. So hopefully we'll get there one day. Obviously, these small little meetups that I'm doing with Jana and various other people should hopefully amount to something a little bit bigger one day. So we'll just continue doing that. And yeah, if anyone's ever in London, just let us know, of course. So, hi Platty, how are you? She is on stage but not speaking. So we'll wait. I didn't recognize you with your Haikeshi PFP. So if you are going to speak,
Hi.
you are welcome to do so.
Can you hear me?
Hi, we can.
Oh,
I love it when people say that, when they come on stage, unmute themselves and go, "Can you hear me?"
sometimes it doesn't work, so you gotta be sure. Yeah, you didn't shout me out. You always shout me out, and I'm like, he probably doesn't recognize me.
I actually didn't recognize you. I'm going to openly say it. But that's a pretty good looking Hakeshi you've got there. I
Yeah,
do normally shout you
I
out.
think I was like probably the first person to change my PFP to Hikeshi. The minute I was able to get the, I guess the image, yeah, I put it on right away, and then I found out it was really poor resolution. So then I'm like, oh no. And Spartacus had figured out how to find it like faster than I could. And it's weird because you know how when you have the blue check mark and Twitter takes it away. I changed my PFP
Yeah.
and I still had the blue check mark, and I'm like, that's strange. So I'm like, okay, now that I have the high res file, let me try and change it again, and it let me. Actually, no. The first time I changed it to a zoomed in because I'm like, that doesn't look good. I want to zoom in. So I zoomed in and let me change it. And then I saw in my DMs, Spartacus sent me, he's like, here's your like better resolution file. I'm like, oh, damn it. I should have waited. I went back. I still had the blue check mark, and it allowed me to switch it again a third time. But then now I have no blue check mark. So I actually wouldn't mind to change it to the one that I just posted now, with the white hair and the pink background. I like the color contrast, but I mean, Twitter doesn't let you do these changes. Like you have to wait another 5 days or something. Yeah, it says my profile is under review. No changes allowed during the review period. So really annoying. Anyways, I wish they allowed like a toggle between, like, you know, you could switch 5 of them, and then while you're wearing one, the 5th one, like if they let you like have like 3 options, and like you could get the other 2 reviewed while you're wearing the first one, like, and then those 3 are already approved. Like that would be the solution for everybody, but not that it's a priority. But anyways, I tried like sending this suggestion to the Twitter team, but I guess we'll see.
I would love to know if the one that I have is the high res version. So have you got the way that people are able to do that, the shortcut, or you know, is it just a simple right click save, or do we have to dig deeper?
It's a simple right click save, except you have to be on a desktop. So I don't know if anyone can figure out how to do it on mobile, but once you're on a desktop, you can send it to somebody through DMs on mobile, and that works. But like, you have to be on a desktop to be able to access the file. And it's just on the Gamma website. If you just go to the token ID, but if it's, I found a faster way. I just copy and paste my wallet address into Gamma, and it brings up my whole wallet. So all my ordinals are there, and I can save all of them if I like. So it's really quick. But yeah, you can do that on mobile. You just can't save them for whatever reason.
I managed to do it
So
on mobile, but I had to download it as a PDF and then convert that PDF to some other file that my phone recognized. And yeah, it's a bit long-winded way, but yeah, you can just about do it.
someone said to me it might be a PNG file. Does that sound right as well? I don't know if it is or it isn't, but
I'm not sure. Yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
people were saying in the Discord when they initially came out, I think, yeah, because the resolution at first, especially on the Mint side, didn't look great, but now when they come up a bit cleaner, they look super awesome. You know, the line work is great. So you minted 2, Platty, is that
I
correct?
minted 3, so I just shared the 3rd one now because I thought I'd space it out, and you know, because it's free, it's content, right? So that was the 3rd one there. The PFP was the first one that I shared. I shared one yesterday about the Red Cap. I don't know if you guys have heard of this Red Cap Council or the Red Hat Council. Anybody in Web3 that has a PFP with a red hat, there's a council, but good luck finding it because some people say it doesn't exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter which project. Like, there's plagues, frogs that have red hats, there's seals that have red caps. Yeah, Hikeshi, it's a thing. It's a conspiracy theory. Like, why are they always in every collection? Like, there's something to that.
The
Now that I
Mohawk
told
count
you this,
or
you're gonna notice, and it's connected to the cabal. I tell you.
Oh my god. So there's a Red Hat Council that nobody can find, and once you're in, you're part of a cabal. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if you're part of the cabal, but it's a council. But I think it's run by the cabal, but you'll never find that out.
Oh my days. You spend too much time digging, Platty, for this is what I've discovered. You're in all sorts of places when it comes to coins and Cardano and, you know, different things. You're in many cults, I would
The other
imagine.
day I was in 57 group chats, and I'm like, this is insane. So I think I left like
Yeah.
7 of them, and I got added to 3, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I just tried to leave a whole bunch and people were adding me. I think I'm in the you know, the Sapiccio beret, elite beret. I'm in that now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even have an OG. I have an OG seal, but it doesn't have a beret. But what happened was they had an election or vote that if you own a little sappy on Cardano that has a beret, then you get to get into that club. So that's how I got in. But I was like, oh, they care about the little sappies on Cardano, but I have a Malarfy that has a beret, like a seal with a beret. I have micro sappies with berets, and yeah. So I already had like these other like derivative collections, but for some reason they only just voted in if you have a beret in the little sappies, then you get in.
Yeah, I'm actually scared to leave some of my group chats because I don't think I own a Laurel Seal anymore, but I'm still in that group. And I don't actually own an OG Killer Bear anymore, but I'm still in that group. And I just kind of I just kind of ignore it because I don't want to be the person that leaves and then everyone types left. Like although you can't see it when you leave a group, like you just know that everyone's going to be doing it and think, "Oh shit, did Treble sell all of his killer bears?" And or say all of them. I only had one or two, but do you really want to be that person?
The best
Anyway,
though,
shout out Little Sappies because we have got Ivonic down there with a Little Sappy, a badass looking one.
Trouble, the best is
So
when somebody has a funny name. Like, I don't know how, I don't know, but there's some of the names when they are like, when it says that person left, like, it is
yeah,
so funny. Like, and I'm like, I didn't even know that person was in the group because their handle didn't match the name. And it'll be like their handle is like, um, no, I don't know, make something up, just like no drama or something. And it's like, well,
yeah,
looks,
pathway to freedom, like pathway to freedom left or something like that, like something ridiculous like that.
yeah, and then
You
it's
know.
so funny when they leave, and then somebody's like, "Oh, I guess that person is like whatever." Oh my gosh, yeah, but it's not a big deal. Like, you can always DM people, right?
Absolutely, I agree. And it's probably not the end of the world, but you should really clean up your group chats like you did. I think it's probably favourable to have people that should be in there rather than not, because nobody ever kicks you from groups unless you leave yourself. So I guess it's a respectful thing to do. Type a little paragraph and just be like, you know what, guys, it's been awesome being a part of this group, but I'm not actually a holder anymore. So all the best and catch up soon. Whatever. That's the way it should be. So let's have a little chat with Rock as well. Rock's come up. How are you doing?
Hey, Treble. Sorry, I know you pinged me a couple times. I was just on another call. I just wanted to come up and say hi. I haven't had the chance to really come up. I attend your spaces, but I haven't had a chance to come up and say hello. So I just wanted to do that. And how's everything going?
Going very well. And speaking of attending spaces, if anyone hasn't done so already, there is an awardable badge link, which is the first pinned post up the top. So if you want to click on that link, go and claim your badge. I just claimed mine because you can only actually do it during this space. Um, Last week we had around 30 claims. So far this week we've got 10 claims. So we're a little bit behind, but we don't have Drummer here, and Drummer is one of the biggest pushers of awardable. Um, so probably for that very reason we're slacking a little bit today. But yeah, if you haven't, he's actually the one that generates the artwork for my badges. So I'll give him a little shout out for that as well. I think we've got 10 or 20 of them made up. I think he uses AI to generate them. So but yeah, in answer to your question, Rock, I am doing good. My side, going to keep these spaces to around an hour to 75 minutes. We've had some good people up on stage today. The topic has largely been focused around Hakeshi, so I'll grab a few words from yourself on if you're able to mint, what you were happy with, anything like that, just in case anyone does listen back, and any speculation on what might come from it. Also, Rock.
I was definitely, I did mint. I've got five. I had quite a few acorns from back in the day, so I'm really happy with the art. As far as how the mint went, I mean, it's easy to talk after these things happen. I'll be honest. When we changed the date, and also when we said we could max mint two, I kind of, I don't know. It kind of gave me a not a bad feeling. I shouldn't say that, but I was thinking, I'm not sure how this thing's gonna go. I am shocked though that we're still at where we at because of how much hype or collabs or whatever you want to call it we had. So I don't know what contributed to people not minting, but the art looks fantastic. Um, as far as what's coming, you know what? I'm not sure. I've got a lot of thoughts. I'm thinking more along the lines of something to do with us pushing the brand in North America. Um, but again, I'm pretty clueless on this one right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some really cool artwork that you've been making actually as well, some good edits. So if you do want to put some editing skills to work for me, I might drop you a little DM because these are looking good, man. Just seen your timeline actually. Someone gave you a shout out last week saying that you were like digital is to me to them. I can't remember the guy that said it, but we had someone up here last week that potentially gives you a few ideas. And I think it was when I mentioned the shadows, the frog shadow, and how we should use it more within the community. One thing I did try and find this week, Rock, was you know um, samurais kind of with shadows to see if I could get the kind of Hakeshi look with a frog shadow like edited on the floor. So I actually really struggled to find any kind of samurai action going on with shadow work. So if anyone's got a bit of spare time and they they want to start looking for dope samurai shadows that we can put frogs on, I think that'd be cool as well. Um, yeah, loads of other ideas. I did think about kind of graffiti artists, having the frog shadow as well. Any kind of sports or stuff like that that we're into, BMXing, like any kind of extreme sports would look super cool as well. Just to kind of give a bit more of a character to who you are, I guess, as a frog. I think that'd be
Yeah,
cool. So
I think you're on point.
if
And you're probably going to start seeing little by little a bit more of that across the timeline. But it's nice to see that some people are kind of making it their own and that, doing it the way they see it. I mean, that's what got us here, kind of spreading things in our own way. Once the project gives us something to work with, or and then you can just envision how you see it. But I think it's really cool, and I definitely can see us coming out with a lot more stuff to do with that in the near future.
Yeah, I actually really like the fact that you've put some Japanese language in your GM tweet as well that I've pinned up the top. I think that could be quite cool for exposure as well. So I guess that was your idea to do that, was it?
Well, they do that all the time. It's not really my idea. But you know what? It's a little tricky with like me as whatever you want to call me, meme or whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, I mean, there's a
I think
fine
I've
line
lost
with
you a little bit.
this one here because
Are you still there, Rock?
yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear Rock
I might be rugging.
treble, so
Yeah,
sounds like treble can't hear you, Rock.
you might have to drop down, Rock, and come back up because I can't hear him. Can anyone else hear Rock? Jano?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh no, we might all be rugging. That would be terrible.
I can hear
Can
you.
people hear me? Put your thumbs up down in the crowd if you can hear me. Oh no. Jano, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Right, so I've got some thumbs up, so people can hear me, but can any of the speakers speak?
I can hear you.
Can you
Jano's
hear me
back.
now?
Yeah, Rock's back as well. Yeah. We're good. Sorry about that. We had some kind of technical issue. So what were you saying, Rock? Remind
Oh,
me.
sorry. I wasn't really saying much, but I was just saying with what to make with the Hikashi. It's. I mean, you want to respect it, so I try to be careful with what I'm making with this one. Um, so yeah, I don't know which direction I want to go with what I to help promote the brand, but I'm trying to keep it like super clean, high end right now, professional, more. But we'll see as Pons make some announcements. Maybe there can be things we can take from there to help promote what's coming next.
Did you get a chance to read Jana's threads that we mentioned earlier on at the beginning? Because there are some kind of terms and conditions in the mint that we may receive some kind of product, and there's way that your licensing could be beneficial or something along those lines. So like speculation is obviously out there, like people have decided to dig into it a little bit more so than others, but I think what the content that you're creating is really cool. So I don't think anyone would think that it's doing a disservice to the brand as such. You've obviously got some kind of experience. Like, what is your background, if you don't mind me asking?
Basically, a print broker, graphic design, print, promotional, marketing, all that kind of stuff. But lately, I've been trying to get more work in Web3 because it's just so convenient for me as far as like you got to get your work done, but I can kind of do them the hours that I can that work best for me as long as I meet my deadlines. So, I'm working with a couple of projects now. I was trying to grow more here. I'd like to actually be invisible on socials, to be honest, but you got to be on here to kind of get the work and build a name for yourself. But little by little, things are going well. Working on a couple of things in the background now, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I always try to contribute when I can. I mean, I don't put my all into everything I make. I try to do things quick and just get the message across. It's not so much about showing like how good I am. It's more about making something that, gets the point across, something that might help the community or give people ideas or whatever it may be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've definitely noticed a lot of what you've been doing, so it's obviously working. And when people start reaching out to you about various things, that are not trying to scam you in any way, shape, or form, then you're doing something right. So, be interesting to see what does come out of your time, however little or however much you want to put into it. I guess like you say you want to focus more so on Web3 these days. Like, is that your interest?
Yeah, it is. And the main reason for that is, like I said, like, we're open 24 hours here is one thing. So there's always something going on. And it's just really flexible for me. I got two kids. I'm a single dad. So it's just easier for me. And with the Web2 stuff, it's more appointment based, right? And I just find here, like, I need this done Wednesday. Doesn't matter if I do it at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, right? It's just way more flexible. And it's just, I love it here. I mean, it's a bunch of creatives. There's always, I'm meeting so many people from around the world. I can't believe, like, the people I speak to now. I would never have met these types of people anywhere else. So for sure. But yeah, definitely being out here helps. Like I said, I'm working for a couple of projects now, but I'd like to get more. So yeah, if you hear of anything, definitely send me a message. I'm always looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, I've got ideas. I've got things I'm working on in the background as well. Like I would like to do more of my cross community spaces as well and keep those running. Like I did a super good one with Iwan the other week related to crypto Moris. And I do want more people to come up and speak, like from different projects and different areas. um but to be honest, I wish I found the time to reach out more to people with bigger, larger followings, but I don't want to go down the generic kind of route of you know reaching out to people like as big as Rug Radio and stuff like that, and seeing if I can do some spaces with them. But I don't really want to go down that route. I want to try and keep it within our little circle. I want to say, like, I don't really like to call it an echo chamber, but I certainly like speaking about people and the backgrounds that they've got, even if they're just community people like yourself, Rock. To be honest, like, it's nice to know what people can offer, like, even if it's like um just like some advice if you're visiting a city or something like that. Like, the Web3 community is great for all different sorts of things. And if you've just mentioned now that you're into marketing and design and you want to be more Web3 centric purely because it's 24/7, then I hope that somebody listens back and drops you a little DM and you make a little bit of cash some way or another. We've all got different areas, whether it's we used to call it alpha, I suppose. And alpha was reversed into benefits, essentially, like, from other people. So that's the way I kind of I've always looked at it. Don't think I've ever taken many profits. So, but I've made money through hosting a couple of spaces here and there, and hopefully one day things turn into bigger things. Not saying it will ever be full time for me, but it's certainly a nice place to be, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. Like for me too. Like I've made some money here and there, so I kind of covered myself as far as like what I've spent here. Um, and it makes it a little bit easier to hang around, I guess, to do that. And as long as you're doing something you enjoy doing, I think it's good. I've had the instances where I've done too much and I just burn out and I'm like, what am I doing here? So I think the key is to just, keep it neutral, keep yourself, keep enjoying what you're doing. And if you enjoy what you're doing, the rest will just happen naturally.
Yeah, definitely. So It's been a great space. We've been running 70 minutes, so I'm just going to go around the room, see if anyone wants to add any closing words. So firstly, I'll go to Jana. I know that we had a couple of technical issues in the middle, but we seem to have sorted them out, and we're still here. So it wasn't a fully rugged space, but a couple of pauses and a little bit of confusion. But I think all in all, it's been a great conversation, largely focused around the Haikeshi mint, but some great speculation relating to future plague happenings as well. So Jana, do you want to round off with any final words?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me up, and good to talk through some of the Hikashi stuff. I'm gonna stay up for Pons's announcement a bit later, so hopefully that's not too late. But just looking forward to changing my PFP to the 1 of 1 Hikashi a little bit later, and then spending my 1 Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to manifest it, mate. To be honest, I've manifested some great prizes over the past 6 months, especially. So it does work. If you focus on the win, then the win can happen. That's what I will say. So Platty's pinned something up the top. Do you want to add a few words about that, Platty, before we close off a space? If anyone hasn't claimed their badge yet as well, please do so. I'll go and double check that in a minute, because you've only got a couple of minutes left to go and claim it. And these will amount to something. I don't really know what that something is, but I am told that the more badges you have will one day mean more than we think. So that's all I can say about that. So Platty, any final words from yourself?
Yes, thank you. I hope you don't mind. I just want to tell everybody to see the tweet up atop, Trait Tuesday giveaway. That is open to anybody, as long as you want to be in the Henhouse Discord and submit your entry. You just need to comment on that post with your favorite Henhouse eye trait. So every week, every Tuesday, we'll be doing this, and you have until the Friday to put your submission in the Discord, and you can win a Henhouse NFT, or you can win some eggs. So make sure to enter that giveaway. We've done it 2 weeks in a row now. Last week was the mouth trait. My favorite is the one of the chicken holding a snake in its mouth, because I love the snake token on Cardano. And also the first week we did the clothing traits. I did the sunny side up hoodie, because that's my favorite, because obviously sunny side up my space every Tuesday morning. So also just want to mention there's a space tonight at 8 p.m. called Alpha Hour, and freaking Lincoln or Josh, the Henhouse founder, will be speaking on that space about real world assets and running a business in Web3. So maybe I'll pin that up if I can.
Of course you can. More than welcome to pin. Use that space. Use that space if you want to. That's what it's there for. So just closing off with Rock finally as well. Thanks for coming up today. It's been great to get to know you verbally a little bit better. You're more than welcome to come up whenever time permits. If you see that I'm hosting a space, it's always great to have different types of people from different places in the world to come up and discuss different topics, and even change the topic if we're going a bit deep into one thing. But I think we've covered a few nice areas in terms of various things today. And like I said, if you want to support what we all do, then by all means, attack people's timelines in any way that you can. Even just a simple like is obviously beneficial. I've now got a soaking wet Pomeranian on top of me because he's just had a bath, so I'm going to give him a bit of love as well in a minute. Have a great evening, everyone. And he's shuffling along the floor, like trying to get the wet off him, and he doesn't like being washed. What a great addition to the household this dog was around 6 to 8 weeks ago. It brings joy to my life, actually. Right, let's go. I'm gonna leave the space, and hopefully see you guys all here same time next week. I'll post the link tomorrow or the day after, and we'll hope to keep growing these in the way that we do. Thanks for coming up, everyone. Jana, Rock, everyone that's down there supporting week in, week out. I really appreciate it. Catch you all soon. Peace.